Ladies and gentlemen, I can feel it in the air tonight. How you doing, sir?
Did my white laundry yesterday.
Me too, funny enough.
Swear to God, this is not set up. We know if you tuned in yesterday, you know we both had white button-up shirts, and he walked into my office today. I said, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah, I here's the situation. I went to the gym just before the show, thinking I would knock out my workout, get it done early, so I don't have to worry about it later. And in doing so, I forgot my hoodie, which I would usually wear.
You're a hoodie
over
guy,
my shirt.
yeah.
Yeah, and I got to the gym, finished my workout, got out of the shower, and came to realize I forgot my hoodie. So this is why I'm wearing a white shirt. This is why we are again matching.
Oh, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can joke in the comments all you want today.
Please do.
I deserve it. Tony deserves it.
We had some good comments yesterday.
Yeah.
I think the best one was, what's the best one? Was the gay cruise?
The gay cruise was good.
Are you guys going on a gay cruise?
Yes.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So let's have at it, people. Give us your best shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, Chris likes it. He says coordination. That's what I said.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, not meaningful coordination, but we did it.
I said I might have to maybe jack my sleeve up a little bit.
I roll it up. I like to buy extra smalls for me. Anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Talking Trench for March 14th. Happy Hump Day.
Hump it up.
For those joining us for the first time, here at Talking Trends, we like to bring interesting news stories from around the world to the comfort of your home.
Yes.
And unlike any other podcast, this is recorded live, and we want to hear your opinions on such news stories.
Yes.
Well, speaking of news stories, what are we going to talk about today?
We got a lot of things.
I got you. Another rest in peace, back-to-back rest in peace, actually, because yesterday was rest in peace for Craig Mack.
Yep.
Rest in peace to Professor Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, died at the age of 76.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a long life, considering he was battling with ALS. It's Lou Gehrig's disease. For those who don't know, it affects the brain, where the brain has problems communicating with the muscles. And most people who have this disease, on average, I believe it's 2 to 3 years or up to 5 years before they pass away. So in his case, again, he had a long, nice life. I mean, considering he was funny in a lot of his talks. I watched a bunch of his talks on YouTube when I could. Wrote a really awesome books on cosmetology. Cosmetology. Sorry.
Yes.
So anyway, awesome, super smart person.
Physicist, right?
Physicist. Opened up a bunch of questions about time travel, space. A bunch of really things that make you think where we're going as humans and the science of space and etc. So rest in peace to you, sir. You are now amongst the stars.
Yes.
And rightfully
rest
so.
in peace.
Rest in peace. Up next, we're going to be talking about this weird situation where a teacher, again, I feel like we talked about this last week, brings a gun into school.
Yeah, he brings the gun in.
Teacher brings a gun in school and ends up shooting it in class. Student gets injured. Do you think it's a good idea for teachers to be armed?
Yellow.
We don't know, but we're going to talk about it.
Yep.
After that, Bruno Mars.
Yep.
He is being accused, essentially, of being a culture vulture.
Yeah, one of our favorite dudes.
Yeah, I love Bruno Mars. We'll talk about that. After that story, disgusting, another weird story revolving around teachers.
Yep.
This dude right here, pictured, looks like a sicko, and he is, because he was trying to get young teenage boys to masturbate after baseball practice, I believe.
Seems like a logical move, isn't it?
Unbelievable. And finally, wrapping up on somewhat of a sad story, United Airlines finally admits to killing a dog.
Yeah,
that was on a flight recently.
I got a different angle on this, so I'm very excited to get into that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, shouts out, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do the Talking Trends roll call.
Yeah, roll call. Welcome, Chris. Yogi in the house, of course.
What up?
As always, Ashley, Carrie in the house, Aaron, GQ number 1 in the house always, Laura, and Julie all join us so far. Thank you guys for joining us. A couple comments already on our wardrobe. As we mentioned yesterday, we're wearing white. Today, we're wearing the same thing. You guys are a commercial for Tide Pods.
Fair enough.
Good one. I like that one. And Julie asked, "Did you read about cosmetology on your gay cruise?" So I don't. She said cruise. I threw in the gay, but anyway.
Fair enough.
I like it. It's the shots are coming. We deserve it. We deserve it, people.
did,
Look.
yeah.
Also, all this month, if we do curse and swear on the show, you guys know we go ahead and do 10 push-ups.
Yes.
Trying to keep it clean.
Trying to keep it clean.
Yeah.
No swearing. And as you can see right here, that's the push-up cam.
Push-up cam right there.
So one of us who says a swear,
Yeah.
if you can't say it in church, that's a push-up.
That's a push-up.
So one of us will be, maybe both of us will be over in this area.
Yes. Shout out to Laura and Lisa joining us as well. Yes. So we might be. I think we were good yesterday.
We did really well yesterday.
Didn't do any push-ups yesterday.
Despite being insulted and made fun of.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculed, and we deserved it.
Fair
and
enough.
we deserve it today. Give it to us, people. We love it.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this interesting situation with the teacher accidentally firing a gun in a classroom. So a teacher accidentally fires a pistol inside a California classroom while lecturing, get this, about public safety.
Ironically.
I can't make this up.
That makes sense.
And as a result, he injured 3 students. Dennis Alexander was pointing the gun at the ceiling when he inadvertently fired it Tuesday at a seaside high school.
Wow.
Bullet fragments ricocheted off the ceiling, hitting a 17-year-old student in the neck. Shortly after an incident, the class resumed as usual, which is very interesting. You would think maybe they would call it off for the day.
You think?
I don't know.
Didn't work?
Not trying to tell any school how to run their business, but that's what I would do if I owned a school. Shots fired.
I agree.
You guys can go home for the day.
Yeah,
it's
we
cool.
should take the day off. Yeah, I think so.
Right. So the teen's father, Furman Gonzalez, said he rushed his son to the hospital after the 17-year-old returned from school with blood on his shirt and a neck injury.
Wow.
Right?
Yep.
He said he's shaken up, but he's going to be okay, Gonzalez said. I'm just pretty upset that no one told us anything and that we had to call the police on ourselves and report it. That's really weird because why wasn't he taken to a hospital during school hours?
Yeah, exactly.
He went
That
home.
makes more sense.
He went home and then went to the hospital.
Man.
Keeps going. 2 other students were also injured by the debris, but police said their injuries were minor. Alexander also, get this, serves as a reserve officer for Sand City Police.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
I cannot make this up, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
my God, man.
So we already have him
Yeah.
for safety.
Yeah.
Shoots the gun in class.
Yeah.
Injures a student, and to round it off, is a part-time officer.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Begs the question,
Yes.
again, should teachers have guns? Now, this also you have to think of, this is a trained professional,
Right.
and he still is able to mess this up quite royally.
Yes.
And now, I mean, the argument is, do you give the normal teacher this guy has probably a couple years under his belt, still messes up. Do you give the opportunity to teachers who have no expertise or years of training?
Like you said, this guy's a trained.
I'm sure you have to go through some training to be an officer of the law.
A little bit, just a little bit,
Right.
It's not a 2-week course. It's some obviously. My big thing. This was at a high school, I believe it happened,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
I don't understand, and we talked about this before. Why is he doing this in the classroom environment again? What was the importance of that?
Here's another weird thing about the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
I kept reading, and guns and other weapons are prohibited on the school grounds, though there are exceptions involving law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this guy clearly had some sort of weird past because
Right.
he had and he's an officer.
Right.
But I mean, it just seems totally messed up. I think,
Yeah, a bunch of people chiming in. Yogi said, "Would love to hear what Trump says about this." Right.
Right.
Because he was all for
Here's
that
the
idea.
thing about Donald Trump,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. Here we go.
He only loves to voice his opinion where something is doing good. He'll never stand up or make any comments when things are doing bad.
Right.
Hey, when black employment it has gone up, he speaks out because clearly that was his doing.
Right.
When the stock market goes up, clearly that was his doing. Hey, there hasn't been an crash in aviation last year. Who was responsible? Donald Trump.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he probably won't speak up about this. Anyway.
I would assume not. This is going in opposite way.
And also, the NRA did fund $21 million into his campaign for when he was running for president. So anyway,
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, of course, he's not going to speak about this. This is a bad situation. He's going to stay away from bad press if he can.
Yeah.
But the other thing is too, exactly like why are you showing kids how to clean guns in school?
I don't understand it. That was literally one of my questions right at the bottom of the article. Is like, why on earth would you use a loaded gun in classroom? And above that, talking about public safety.
Yeah, two things. Oh my God, come on, makes no sense.
Yeah,
I don't know. Matt says White Tea Tuesdays. Well,
yep.
Yeah. Well, today's Wednesday, but yeah, we started on a Tuesday, I guess.
We're just going to continue the tradition.
Yeah. Ashley says teachers shouldn't be carrying any type of weapon, period. If I were a student, I knew my teacher was carrying any type of weapon, whether it's for my safety or not, I would feel uneasy in the classroom, period. I would agree with that. You know what I mean?
I would ask any parent out there or anybody, listening in on the chat, would you send your kid to school knowing that your teacher has a handgun?
Yeah. Is that the move?
Is that would you, yes or no? And then if you do send your kid, then why? I would love to know the reason why.
You're bringing in exactly what you're trying to keep out of the school. You're bringing it into the school environment, which is crazy. Shaq recently had a comment on this because they were interviewing Shaq about this particular situation. He says, don't get rid of the guns. He says because there's 15 million guns, whatever, in the U.S. You're not going to get rid of all of them. You're just going to you're going to create an underground black market for them, which just makes them more popular, I guess, or just as easy to get.
Right.
He says as far as the school goes, you should have police in every school. You should have one. His words. He wants a cop in the front of the school, the back of the school, inside the school. That's his solution. Now you're still bringing guns into the school, I guess, in that sense, but at least it's a police officer. He's not, showing how to clean it, loaded weapon, which this happened in this situation. But, I don't know. Then it's more taxpayers' money, right?
If I were to condone any behavior from the NRA, it would be that they should fund all police officers who would be in schools. Right, that would be the only good look. That would be the only thing I could get behind. If NRA is concerned, trying to save face and look good in the public eye, here's an idea, guys. You take care of the bill for police officers being in schools 24/7 or throughout the school year.
Right. I like that. I like that idea.
Hey, man.
I think that's a great idea.
Hey, I don't know.
Why don't you do that idea, people? NRA. Become useful.
That's what I'm saying.
Do something
I'm
useful.
sure that $21 million could be used for more productive things and potentially saving some lives.
Kerry says the protest happened today. There was a protest today.
Yes,
kids walked out of the schools and protested having guns, thousands all over Canada and the U.S.
Yeah.
It's good. They don't want them in school, obviously, as well. So,
it's clear that they don't. And the fact that these bills keep getting passed by, or now teachers are now allowed to have guns, it's crazy. It clearly shows that they aren't listening to the public.
They're going in the wrong direction. Direction.
It's going to be a matter of time before. The wheels are already in motion.
Yes. For
teachers to carry guns now in certain states, and it's literally going to be a matter of time before something tragic happens. That's I don't want that to happen, of course. No. But it's just the way. It's just the way us humans do.
I agree. Kelsey says I've known people to steal chemicals from the chemical lab in school. Are we sure that's not going to have kids more opportunities to get their hands on guns?
That's what I'm saying too. You don't think nobody's going to get curious and be like, oh my God, Mrs. So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so is out and he leaves his gun at his desk. Let's go get his gun.
Yeah. And Yogi says, so what happens if some mischievous kids decide to beat a teacher down and take their guns?
Well, we've argued that too, where it's just like, what we were saying, even here in Nova Scotia, where the physical violence towards teachers has
much worse,
has skyrocketed. Yeah. And you don't think in maybe a scuffle, a teacher with a handgun, you don't think at any time that a kid or a teenager is going to not reach for that gun.
It's going to happen without doubt. It's only a matter of time.
Right.
Welcome, Ashley. Matt Boyle in the house.
Shouts out.
Love to see you, Matt, of course, always. Who else just jumped on? The rudest of dogs is in the house. John and CJ, always good to see you guys. Thank you.
Shouts out, guys. We're just, for you guys just tuning in right now, we're talking about the interesting situation down in California where a teacher brought in a gun in class and ended up hitting one of the students during safety protocol.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Always a good idea.
Always a good idea to bring a gun into
Lord.
school. Yeah, big fail. So up next, Bruno Mars, Culture Vulture.
Bruno Mars, we thought was, I don't know. I'm a big fan. You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, he's being accused of cultural appropriation. He's culture stealing, man. That's what he's doing, apparently, according to some people. Bruno Mars found himself caught in a heated debate after cultural appropriation over the weekend after an activist accused the 24-karat magic star of being a culture vulture, profiting off of traditional black music.
Right.
Not good. Bruno Mars, of course, his parents they're not African American. His mother's Filipina and his father Puerto Rican and Jewish. The Grammy Award-winning star is known for blending elements of soul, funk, R&B, reggae, and hip-hop in his music, genres that are historically and traditionally African American. So anyway, this YouTuber Serene Sensei basically went on a little bit of a tear in the last clip that she put out, quoting, saying, what Bruno Mars does is he takes pre-existing work and he just completely, word for word, recreates it. He does not create it. He just recreates it and just doesn't do his own thing, doesn't make it original. He does not create it. He does not improve upon it. He does not make it any better. He's a karaoke singer. He's a wedding singer. He's the person you hire to do Michael Jackson and Prince covers. Oh, wow. Yet Bruno Mars has an Album of the Year Grammy, and Prince never won Album of the Year in the Grammys. So basically, I think it's happened many times, as we've talked about before the show. Elvis Presley, Eminem, even you could go on. The list can go on and on.
At anybody in the music industry of this, if you really want to nitpick, honestly, you can just point at anybody.
Yeah, you could go on and on.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you could go on and on. Anyway, of course they're blaming him for this. I just want to be practical here. Some say,
is that what she said?
Yeah,
I just want to be practical.
No, this is our people are saying Bruno Mars couldn't sing, or was that? Oh, sorry, that's when he sings. He needs to somehow whiten that SHIT up and sound more like Rod Stewart. Black Lives Matter. Activist and writer Sean King tweeted out after what she had put out, I'm serious, what type of music is this man allowed to do? So just blasting Bruno Mars from all angles.
Here's the thing, though. I mean,
ludicrous here,
what's
man.
wrong with people? Clearly, people are inspired. What's wrong with being inspired by music and then doing your own thing? Yeah. And then it's almost to a point he's won a bunch of awards. Yeah. I mean, technically, who... Yeah, you could get mad at him, or you can get mad at, essentially, if your real problem is, get mad at the Grammys or where what their voting process is. Don't be mad because, certain people didn't get awards. I mean...
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's listen, the awards aren't the end-all, be-all. You're unhappy because you got a Grammy in the Album of the Year. Yeah. Listen, guys have been getting awards that we can't agree 100% that they should get the award. It's a whole thing. Yeah. Yogi, who's, of course... super producer Yogi chimes in. Drake does it to everyone. I don't hear anyone complaining. I love Drake's music, mind you. So
exactly. I mean, look at this whole bro. You want to talk about? I mean, if you want to talk about taking different aspects of culture, his last album, just even the recent singles, definitely Caribbean inspired, easily. Yeah. One Dance, okay.
R&B singer Charlie Wilson put out a tweet. and defending his friend Bruno Mars.
I was gonna say, please, Charlie,
Yes, Charlie did not let us
don't break them down, Charlie, please.
He said Bruno Mars is a genius. A genuine talent, pure and simple. In fact, he's one of the best we've had the privilege to enjoy in years. Is already destined to be one of the greats.
Yeah, he puts on a great show.
Yeah, he's cut from the same cloth as myself and many other artists. They come work, perform extremely hard on their craft. Our main hope is that at the end is to entertain and deliver music that creates moments and feelings that the fans will cherish forever. Yeah, I mean, he's standing up for him. It's great. I mean, you should be standing up for him. With the history of what's happened in music, very little music nowadays is created and original. It's all influenced by somewhere.
It's literally probably impossible to create something original,
super hard,
but
bro.
you're influenced. You heard something and it's somewhere in your mind. You're like, I want to go for this feel. I want to go for that feel.
Yeah, that's human nature. I mean, your brain just works that way.
Everything is a remix. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, type that in on YouTube. It's a good little thing on. It's called "Everything Is a Remix." And
everything's a remix.
Everything's a remix. It basically is to that point where everything is kind of recreated and inspired from something before.
It's inspiration.
And it's not just Bruno Mars taking a culture and, I don't know. I guess it would be different if he was bashing it to some extent, which he's not. A bunch of his dancers, the DJs, black. You
can't hate on people.
He's an international artist. You
can't hate on people that are inspired by people that have inspired them to do music,
right?
Whether it's James Brown, Michael Jackson, Prince, whoever, and that their style is similar to those styles. That's their inspiration.
Right. Exactly.
So you can't say, you can like them, but don't sound anything like them. It's
right.
They're my inspiration. Of course I'm going to sound similar to those guys. I mean, it just makes sense.
Who didn't want a moonwalk? Who still doesn't want a moonwalk?
Yeah, I like the moonwalk. Everyone likes the moonwalk.
All right. So
Ashley chimes in. She says he's an entertainer. Yeah. That's what he does, and I personally think he does a good job. His style suits his personality. CJ says you can be inspired, but the message here is don't get famous. And so, yeah, she's questioning it. Is the message here don't get famous or rewarded? So you can be inspired, but don't cash in on that. So that's the move, because that's what the cultural vulturing has happened. They're saying, listen, you can do the music, but don't make any money for it to make a living from it.
Right.
Okay, so you're saying that Elvis and all these guys, they're all completely wrong. Listen, don't you think that some of the other guys were influenced by other guys that were just completely different than their own
For sure.
Just come on, guys. It doesn't make sense.
I think the bottom line is, it's entertainment. Are you entertained or you're not? I think you're pulling hairs at this point to really say what's what, and it's kind of hard in this case for you to point at Bruno Mars as being like some sort of a culture vulture. I don't know. I can't see it personally.
You can't. I mean, people will attack people that are doing well, and they'll come up with some reason why they shouldn't be where they're at, and they're gonna
exactly. This lady would have a long list of people to really pick on if she was talking about culture vulture-ism.
Yeah, and she's very extreme to one side. So I think she's got more against her than with her in this particular case anyway. So we still love you, Bruno Mars. We love you, baby.
Still love you. I think there was an interesting thing about him that came out today.
24K.
Bruno Mars now claims the most #1 hits by a man on his chart.
Ooh, she ain't gonna like that.
She's not gonna like that one.
She won't like that. Whatever her name was.
Yeah.
We already forgot.
Who cares?
That's a shame. You ain't got a Grammy, do you, baby?
Yeah.
No, go get a Grammy. We'll talk.
Up next, a very disturbing story. Ladies and gentlemen, get your sicko belt buckets because you're in for a ride.
It's not going to be good.
This disgusting human being.
Yep.
This teacher turned baseball lessons into group masturbation sessions.
I didn't think that was part of the baseball program.
I didn't think that was a part of baseball at all.
Apparently it is.
Yeah. So an elementary school teacher in Indiana allegedly turned private baseball lessons into masturbation sessions for a group of young boys. Joe Kimmerer, a 4th grade teacher at Amelia Earhart Elementary School, was charged on various accounts of sexual gratification with a child under 14 years old after investigations learned that he had been coaching students through the sexual acts during private baseball lessons. Disgusting.
Yep.
Joe Kimmerer, 46, told the boys to do some practices to go to the bathroom and masturbate before asking the students sick questions that included queries on the size of their penises, according to the affidavit. The sicko coach even contacted them at home and asked if they had done their homework. An alleged code phrase for questioning if they had masturbated. I don't know.
Sick individual.
This is a sick guy.
So gross. I don't know. The question is, does he have a history of this at all? I guess is the
I
big
would
thing.
think he definitely. Well, I don't know the history, but there's definitely been an interest for him. Right. I don't know if he's ever taken the steps to do it before, or maybe how dare I even say courage? Just the guts to ask a teenage boy to go masturbate or what have you.
Yeah. Yep.
Apparently there's incidents dating back to the summer of 2014.
Oh wow.
So
it's a history of
4 years at least. I'm not sure how this lasted. I don't know if this investigation is now they're finding this, but I don't know if there's any. You would think if it was talked about in 2014, why the hell is he doing this now?
Yeah, why is he still coaching now?
Yeah. What the hell is this guy doing around kids?
Oh boy.
So
maybe it was all alleged stuff. Maybe nothing was charged.
So it says like he's been a teacher for 18 years, and he had no prior disciplinary record. It was obviously an unfortunate situation. You would hope would never happen. Once superintendent said, and he showed no signs of this until this came out. Unfortunately,
well, it's not good.
No.
Hopefully he gets what he deserves.
He gets the, as Michael Rappaport would say, the olive oil and Wonder Bread bag treatment in jail.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people on here that would agree with that situation. As a punishment, Kerry says he should be held down in jail while a bunch of men jerk off in his mouth.
Okay.
Hello. That's a punishment right there. He may like that.
Hey, can you say what you just said in church, Tony?
Yes, you can. Those are two different words.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that's not a curse word.
We need to put this to a vote because we say this at the beginning of the show.
Is that a curse word?
If you can't say it in church, that's a push-up. So you're telling me, sir, right now, you're going to go to church
it's inappropriate.
On Sunday, and you're going to be like, I hope so. These men, J.O. and this person. Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks a lot, Kerry. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Push-ups for Tony, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't say it in church, it's a push-up. Yeah, go for it, sir. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful, my friend. Yes.
Thought I was safe.
I had to question it.
Yeah, that is your fault. Thank you.
I appreciate the comment, though.
Well, I do appreciate the comment. I got a few extra push-ups. Sorry. Today
go.
was chest day. It continues.
Yeah, so this guy is clearly a sick individual. I'm assuming he has been removed and disciplined for his actions. Yeah, he's married with 2 children.
Oh, God, even worse.
Right?
Even worse. Well, the thing about it is if something like this even closely has been indicated in the past at all that he has this type of behavior,
right,
he should never be coaching anything in his life around children or be around children.
Yeah.
How those situations slip through the cracks all the time?
No idea.
Beyond me.
And I guess police are trying to ask for more additional information. So, I mean, I'm going to throw this number out there because it's the internet. You never know, ladies and gentlemen.
Do it.
So, if you know any information on this dude, 765-807-1250. By just odd chance. Just throwing it out there if you have any extra information. I don't know.
Public service announcement.
Public service announcement brought to you by the good people over at Talking Trends.
All right.
And finally, wrapping up today's show.
Wrap it up.
The not-so-friendly skies.
Yeah, apparently not. So this is a sad story, no doubt. Grieving family is speaking out after they say United Airlines flight attendant forced them to put their dog in an overhead bin. He was in one of those little carriers where he died in the flight, during flight. 10-month-old French bulldog was kept there for the entire 3.5-hour trip from Houston to New York Monday. The airline has apologized. United Airlines issued a statement accepting full responsibility for the incident, which it says is under investigation. Still, many are wondering how an experienced flight attendant could let this happen. So there's a quote here. It was a really special dog. This is obviously the owner's. Really special dog. It's just sad the way he has to just leave. It says 11-year-old Sophia Sabello. For Sophia and her mother, it was she was part, of course, the dog named Coquito was part of the family.
I like the name.
Yeah, you put the dog carrier. So they basically put it in the overhead bin. Puppy died after being in the overhead bin. United Airlines flights. It's a dog. This is a quote. It's a dog. It's a dog. He can't breathe up there, she said. The owner said. It still doesn't matter. The attendant said it needs to go up there. She felt the dog and she put him up there. Sophia recalled. So anyway, my angle on this whole thing.
Oh boy.
Well, here's the other thing is too. They tried to go and check on the dog because they heard the dog barking for 2 hours. Then the dog stopped barking. They went to check on the dog. They said we tried, but we couldn't stand up because a lot of turbulence, and we weren't allowed to stand up basically. So the dog, and finally when they landed, the flight was over. They of course picked up the dog up from the thing and found him dead. Yeah. So there's two sides to this. People that are siding with the owners, saying what a tragedy. Well, it is a tragedy, but it was on the attendants. They shouldn't have put the dog up there. My side of it is.
Here we go. Cold Heart Tony coming out.
Listen. Oh, man.
Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, my side of it is who is really to blame here? Is it the attendants who, in my opinion, might have been following the policy of the airlines?
Right.
Or is it the owners who may be considered irresponsible in the situation by not knowing the rules before they got on this flight, and that they may not be able to travel with their dog in their lap in this carrier?
I would like to know if they have made multiple trips with the dog before, and what was the protocol. And
right.
I mean, to kind of like add to your point.
Yeah.
And I mean, also, I think if I heard my dog barking for 2 hours, I would go up and get it.
No matter what.
No matter what. I'm taking it out of the thing, whatever. If the plane is in flight, what are you going to do? You're going to emergency land, like, because I took my dog out. I mean, it's still in its kennel, and I'll just put it on my lap. I just want to make sure my dog's okay. It's been barking for 2 hours. Let me get it some water. So, I mean, yeah, I think the owner should maybe have done that.
I would think so. United Airlines, of course, is investigating the situation. I think what they're going to be investigating is the policy.
Right.
And if you as a passenger, you know there's certain things you can't bring on the flight.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, you can't bring anything on a flight, right?
No.
It's all illegal, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be put into.
We're basically going to be naked flying these days, next couple of years.
Which could be very bad for a lot of people.
But
But
that's true.
we know as passengers, we're responsible to know what we can and cannot bring on flights. If you have a pet, you should probably know every single rule.
Yeah, the ins and outs.
As far as it comes to a pet, because God forbid you're up there. And the other thing is too, like when they first got on the flight, before you took off, the flight attendants should have known this person has a dog, and right then and there tell them, listen, you have to put in the overhead. So how did they already get in flight before this happened? That's my thing, right? Like there's a lot of, I think that's why the investigation is going on. There's a lot of moving, because if the owner found out as soon as they got on the plane, like, oh shoot, I can't have my dog on my lap, I don't want to put it in the, you might want to get off the flight. You might want to do something. You might want to cause, some sort of a stir so that you don't have to go through that process. I mean, I don't know. I think for me, man, you're a dog owner.
Yeah.
I think that pet owners, if you're traveling with your pets, if you have to travel with your pets, you need to know the rules of these travel. If you're traveling by air.
You know what? Just dog sitting, man. I can't be bothered.
No.
Just dog sitting. I'm going on my vacation. I can't be bothered to bring the dog with me. And just, I mean, you hear about these situations. I don't want to be.
Yeah, like why are you bringing your dog anyway?
Yeah, I'm going to spend whatever, however much it costs. Like some places are pretty cheap.
Dude, the
So,
dog
like,
doesn't know it's traveling.
Yeah.
I mean, it knows it's traveling. Doesn't care.
No.
The dog doesn't want to go to Florida. Like who?
Yeah.
The dog doesn't care.
Exactly.
Like you're doing it for what purpose? And I'm assuming you're paying extra because the dog has to fly.
Exactly.
There's an extra fee, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
why don't you save your money?
Right.
And call your neighbor.
Call your friend,
Say, "Listen,
family member.
Going away for a few days.
Yeah.
Can you just
take care of the dog. And he's a small dog, so it's not much like walking, not much maintenance like a bigger dog.
Yeah.
My guy's pretty small. He'll just hang out in the house. He'll poop on the little pads we give him. I'll give you a box of pads.
Yeah.
He's good. He does his thing. He's good. He's really well equipped, and he can bullseye right on the pad.
True.
You don't even take him out. Maybe let him run around the backyard.
Agreed.
That's it.
Julie says it seems like it's the owner's fault. How can you sit there and hear the dog in pain?
That's
and
what
do
I'm saying.
nothing, which is what you said, of
yeah.
course. Carrie says before going, or no, she said why didn't someone do before they took off, which is what I said. She thinks it's both their faults. I think it's a little bit of both.
I think so too.
But I think before the plane got off the ground, it should have been settled before you got off the ground.
Questions should have been asked.
But
yeah,
owners, rewind. Just think about it before you go to the airport with your dog.
for sure.
Is there other options?
Yeah.
The dog is going to be sitting on the dog doesn't want to sit on that plane for 2 hours.
Exactly. Unless if you're going, of course, if you're moving somewhere, yeah, no brainer.
Difference in it.
So if you're going for any length of period, I know over, let's say 2 weeks or something like that, then maybe bring your dog. But yeah.
But there's places you can do. Isn't there businesses where they'll watch your dog?
There's businesses where they'll watch your dog. I'm sure now that there's even more so options available.
I think it's super selfish of the owners to want to take their dog for their own purpose. There's not a benefit of the dog.
No.
By any means.
Yeah.
The dog will get over it.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think the dog will notice.
The dog will not notice, and he'll get over it.
Yeah. And he'll be even more joyful when you walk through the door after a little vacation.
I agree.
Yeah.
So don't be selfish, dog owners.
Yeah, don't be like,
take care of your dog.
Take care of your dog, ladies and gentlemen.
Just do something.
Damn.
Don't let them die on planes.
No, let's avoid that at all costs.
Sad story, but anyway, it's it is what it is.
Yeah.
Your dog doesn't want to go to Florida to get a tan. Dog don't care.
Yeah. In fact, that's probably the last place the dog wants to go. Somewhere hot.
Yeah. Give him a some food. Rub his belly.
Yeah.
Call it done.
Exactly.
I like it. So anyway.
And that's today's show.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, it was as you say, a mouthful. Pause.
Hello. Happy hump day to everybody. Hopefully you have a safe evening. Do we have any guests this week? We're still confirming. We're not sure.
Trying to confirm.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll have somebody by Friday.
We will let you guys know on that for sure.
Yeah.
But we will definitely be back tomorrow. That we are sure of.
Exactly.
5 o'clock.
Precisely.
Tune in, people. We'd love to see you again. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We'll have a whole new slew of topics for tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. And if there's something that we haven't covered and you would like us to talk about, send it in. Even the teacher, the masturbating teacher one was sent in to me. And I felt that it should be talked about. Okay. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to send us in news articles that you find interesting, and we can put them on, and we can all have a little conversation on how the world is crazy, except for us.
Except for us. Except for Yogi wants to wear a Talking Trends T-shirt. Okay. So maybe that's the move. So maybe we dress alike and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's the move, I guess.
Bring a white T-shirt when you come through, Yogi.
Yes, I agree. Good. Well, that's good. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes. If you enjoyed the show, please share it. Like the Facebook page, like the YouTube page, all the social media stuff. WeTalkingTrends.com. Graphics provided by Car Productions. Mm-hmm. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Stay positive, and we are out.
Be safe.